honestly, when it comes to actors who can literally nail any role to perfection in Hollywood, our guest on the show today will definitely be amongst the first names you will call. I mean, unless, of course, you're just a hater, quite honestly. Now, Jim Iyke was born on the 25th of September in Gabon and the only boy in a family of 8 children. Now, he began acting in 2001 and he is currently known to be one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. Now, he's also gone on to appear in over 150 films. I mean, 150 films, that's a lot, isn't it? Well, some call him the bad boy of the Nigerian film industry, and boy, oh boy, that accent is an absolute killer. But if there's one thing that he is known for, it will be his attention to detail and execution of any character he plays on TV. And of course, joining me right now on Arise 360 is Nollywood actor Jim Iyke. It's great to have you on Arise 360. We just had the trailer of your new movie, Bad Comments. It looks absolutely amazing. We're seeing you in elements that just bring such nostalgia. Let's talk about this. 2 decades within the Nollywood business. I mean, how does it feel considering the fact that this was really not the plan for you?
Is it ever the plan for anybody in the arts? Few people navigated from the beginning to the end in the confines of a plan. We originally just wanted to, finish my study, get on with life, and probably build a career in the world of finance. But it didn't pan out like that. I stumbled on this literally, and I think, as they say, the rest is history.
Yes, I agree with you. I mean, like you said, you've been doing a couple of media rounds for your new movie, Bad Comments, and I understand that this is something that you've had to talk about. And I think I can even answer the question for you about, how this was never the plan for you to do Nollywood. You went out to see a show and it kind of just dropped on you. Yeah, we know that history. But if you didn't do that, if you never went out that day and discovered that this is something you had a passion for, what would Jim Iyke be doing? Would you have ended up as, I don't know, a scientist, an engineer, a banker? What would have happened?
Probably in the world of finance. Hopefully a CEO of some company somewhere, and then hopefully with a PhD in some discipline, some obscure discipline. Yeah, that was the original plan. But I'm of Igbo extract, as you all know. So the parents plan your life from beginning to the end. And at some point in the middle, I said, you know what, I have done my part. I finished my first degree at about 20. I want to go out there and have a taste of life, and then forge my will as it is, and see what the world has for me outside your plans. So that is where it started. I don't know what I could have been, if I told that role in life. It could have been anything. It's just such a wide spectrum of variables. It could be anybody. But like everything else I do, whatever I'm invested in, I'm sure I would have given it 100%. But this is what drives my passion and what has always driven it.
That passion has led us to see many aspects of you. In my little intro there, I mentioned how we've seen different aspects of Jim Iyke. We've seen the lover boy Jim Iyke. We've seen the bad boy Jim Iyke. We've seen a lot of that. Look at you laughing. How much of all these perceptions, were really you?
I think a lot of people, I think I'm just one of those people that a certain script was written for, and my management at that time said, stick to the script, it works. And that is what is going to be, your intro into the industry. But somehow it's stuck in people's, mental archives, and they said, this is the picture of him, and this is the picture I'll go with, because it's most comfortable to go with that picture. It's sort of superficial sometimes, and I'm not saying this with any shade or any degree of regret. It's a little undermining sometimes, given that there's a far deeper essence to my person. I like to do so many other things. There's so many other interests, especially business interests I've taken over the years that I've failed extensively and also succeeded greatly. And I just when sometimes they refer to me as that person because of the movie roles I've played, I usually view with a great degree of trepidation sometimes. So, but that's what it is. I don't want to change it. I don't live my life in regret. I just go with the flow sometimes and try to have fun as I go.
You've definitely tried to do a lot of other things. You've done a lot of things. You've done business. You also delved into politics at some point in time, but it looks like that really did not last for you. That wasn't something you really stuck with. And why is that?
Still murky water for me. I delved into it with the best intentions, but politics in Africa. I got burnt quickly. I came to understand that your best intentions are usually misconstrued. I was dealing with people that had integrity, or so I thought. I was dealing with people that wanted something good for the land and for their people, and wanted to represent our people in the best possible form. Politics is always viewed with a certain degree of I don't know, for lack of better term, untrustworthiness, and I didn't want to be associated with that. I thought, let me go back on the drawing table and again revisit my intentions for wanting to do this. Go through that time of introspection and understand fully how I could serve my people, or how I could be that leader and that follower that will represent a certain value to the table. And when I found out that the people that were standing by me were not ready to go with that vision, I thought, let me step back and do what I do best, which is, create films and create entities and create business and create employment for people to benefit from.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what you're doing with your movie, Bad Comments, which, by the way, we'll be talking about shortly. But Jim Iyke, you have to indulge me. When we get back from this quick break, I want us to talk about your frame of mind when you went into the world of music, a subject that I think you even find really hilarious. We'll talk about that as well as this new movie and what else has been happening with you. Do stay with us. We'll be back with some more in Jim Iyke after the break. You're welcome back to Arise 360, and we have Jim Iyke with us. Now, before we went on that break, Jim Iyke and I were having a really lovely conversation, a conversation that I think some people right now need to ask themselves. Jim Iyke, this is a very, we love you, like you are our fave. We love you so much. But music, I need to know that side of you. I need to know what happened there. I need to.
Oh wow! You really went there, did you? Music was a dare. I just don't do well with dares. You dare me to do something, I'll probably do it. When I jumped off 313 meters in Zambia, the bungee jump, and everybody thought I was going to kill myself, and I survived. I was dead. I've done some crazy stuff, bike climbing, broke my leg. We were seeing the studio. Two-Face was there, a couple of cats, and then somebody said, Jim, you should do music. And I thought, what do you guys think? I can't do music? They say you can't. This one we know you don't have the gifts for. And that's it. I ran into the booth. We started writing. We started putting together songs. And Two-Face and I came up with this thing. And that's it. I decided there on that, I did one song successfully. Let's make it an album. So we made it an album. And that's it. A couple of months later, we're in New York and Harlem shooting the video. And then we went out to Amsterdam, shot the other one, released it. And it dawned on me that I was probably the worst rapper in the whole game. Trust me. Yes, music is not my thing. But what I took away from that experience was entrepreneurship of it, the business of music. So I thought that was the really important aspect that I took away, that down the line, if I ever wanted to do this, I would do it from the viewpoint of an executive, bring in some superb talents, and hopefully get people to listen to them. And when we disseminate whatever music they have, hopefully that would turn into very good business. So something was to be taken away from it. But as regards talent, as regards being on top of my music game, that was zilch skills. I had nothing to offer there, seriously.
Jim, I'm honestly going to say that I love how... Yeah, you were saying?
I was going to say it was also a very humbling experience because at some point in your life, especially if you succeeded in a couple of platforms, a couple of divides, you will begin to think you're capable of doing everything.
Yeah.
So music taught me that there's a boundary. Yeah, there's some boundaries you don't cross. Stay within your lane, and then hopefully everything works out well.
And it's worked out for you well. I love how you always speak about situations and speak on how you learn from them. Okay, now, Jim, I know this might not be this might be your least favorite question today, but as I said at the beginning, we have you here, so you just have to indulge. Now, recently you said something, I think there are two questions in this. You said, with regards to relationships
I think
now,
I lost everybody.
that one of the reasons why you've actually stayed away is because sometimes you create a space that I love how you smile when I ask these questions. Well, let me continue. You create a space that is so peaceful for you. And then before you bring anyone into that space, you ask yourself, what are they bringing into that space that you've created that is so peaceful? So would you say that is still your frame of mind right now when you think relationships? Because I mean, you are Jim Iyke. So I mean, you can't tell me you don't know. People are like secretly like hush hush asking around. I want to know if that is still, because that was in 2019. This is 2021. Are you still of that same sort of thought?
Well, very much so. It's the only way that I can obviously represent my present state of mind. At some point, you understand that the mind and the science of the mind is such that what you feed it, what you constantly feed it, it becomes its reality in every sense of the word. I understand the power of the conscious mind. I understand what it means to have a certain state of mind and energy. As I grew older and I journeyed on this path, I came to understand what was my kinetics, how to disperse it accordingly, and how to use it, and also how to allow certain people in my space. So I understood again that peace, it's very addictive. Once you have a taste of it, you don't want to disrupt it. You don't want to change its form. You want to maintain its pattern that works for you. When I had my first son and I relapsed more or less into family life, that was peace for me. That was sacrifice of a whole different realm that I've never been able to render as a service, even to my craft. Immediately I understood it. I began to demarcate different aspects of my life that did not in any way link credence to peace or interpret into peace for me. So it was important for me to interpret the kind of energy everybody was coming to me with. Most of the mistakes I've made in life, any downturn I've had in life, is because from the onset, my instincts told me either this person was wrong, this person wasn't right for me, but I wanted to play to the status quo. Everybody thought, you should date a certain type, they have to be flashy, they have to be out there in the media, they have to be of a certain, clique or position or last name, all the trappings of, what you call societal ills. I didn't want to play that game anymore. At some point, I came to understand that quiet space where I can create, where I can come and go as I please, meant peace for me, and I wanted to keep it by every means necessary.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Now more than ever, Jim Iyke, especially with how things are, especially how relationships evolve in our society. So that essence of maintaining your peace is so crucial. Now, we've also met Savage Jim Iyke a couple of times on social media. And I just have one question. Why do you respond to trolls? That's it. Just why?
Because I'll tell you something. I think every aspect of my life I've always approached with a certain logicality, for lack of a better term. I approach it with a certain sense of responsibility. And I also believe ideologically every man is entitled to one pettiness, one point of pettiness in his life. You can't be perfect. I believe that's what is called balance. Okay? Now, trolls are the one set of people that I refuse to be intelligent about. I refuse to be logical about. I totally blatantly refuse to let them go free. So sometimes I understand that you have to give more than you take, let them have a taste of their medicine. And it's sport for me. It's extracurricular for me. Everybody has to take something away from social media, right? So if a sensible being, leaves his space and ventures into my space. I never go to public domains. I don't do public domains. I don't understand what goes on there. What transpires there has absolutely no business with me. I'm deaf, blind, and mute to whatever any other person is doing but what I'm doing. Believe me, if there's anything, if there's a fiscal character to minding your business, I think I represent it. So before you come to me and begin to, say something that's totally disagreeable, I know that, well, let me put it in local parlance. Now you can't look for trouble. So whatever it is you get back in return, it's what I consider fair. And I also, to buttress it even further, I come from a family where we do this for sport. I mean, we talk to each other a certain way. We like to have fun. I'm the only guy with 8 girls. What do you think, man? We're always throwing banters and shading each other at every turn. I remember I was doing this drive with a couple of friends from Atlanta to Miami. We're going to hang out for the weekend. And my dad was on the speakerphone, the car speakerphone, and we're haggling about money. Apparently, we did some business, and the man was trying to dime my money. And the way we're speaking to each other, one of them had to ask, he's a Yoruba guy, my people with their relationship with their dad is one of high respect and and all that. And he said, "Is that your dad you're talking to like that?" I said, "Well, you can hear what the man is saying back to me as well." So I come from that kind of family. He's a laid back, playful. We don't take this thing seriously. We don't take ourselves seriously, and that's how it is. Even everybody that's had to come and marry my sisters, all my in-laws, they had to get used to it at some point. Because we shade you until you either, live up to the bill or then go under and get emotional about it. So for me, when I'm outside there and somebody comes at me, it's fun. It's all fun for me, really, nothing else.
Love to see that side of you, the petty side. Now, we're going to take a quick break, but Jim, when we come back, we're going to be talking specifically about your film, as well as the fact that it has a lot to do with mental health and how just situations like this, trolling, cancel culture, influences one's mental health. I think it's so important we talk about that. Stay with us. We're not done. We'll be right back with some more with Jim Iyke on Arise 360. Bad comments, Jim Iyke. I'm so grateful that you made this movie. And I'm gonna ask what the plot is, but from what I just got from that trailer, it looks like trolls, if you could actually find them in real life, how you would handle them. I wish I could do that sometimes, because these trolls are so annoying, and you look into they turn out to just be non-entities in real life. Just briefly, because I know you don't want to give us spoilers, but just talk to us about the plot of this movie.
So essentially, we had to draw from life experiences. I had to tell the movie from the prism of one that is considered the anti-hero, which is basically the celebrity. People, look at celebrities as, people that have had or are having a rite passage of life, the really luxurious rite passage of life, and obviously living a life of very little struggle and extreme luxury. I wanted to tell a story that will shed light, some sort of light on all the actors in that space. We had to create something from our personal experiences, mesh it together to create this. This movie, I think, is a satire of sorts. It has to tell us, we have to tell this story, especially from the point of view of the African, how we deal with social media, how the Nigeria, society deal with social media. We thought we should also create a story where we can begin to question our motives in this space. Are we as celebrities doing too much? Are we, throwing our ostentatious lifestyle in front of these guys, showing our wealth, our houses, our cars? Are there far more elegant, graceful ways we can show our wealth and our successes without offending? Is all this purely designed for self-gratification? And then on the other side of the divide as well, what's the whole point of looking in how another person lived their life? Why don't you continue on your lane? Maybe the focus should be on your lane, because everybody has a backstory, and not everybody's backstory is as beautiful as the story on social media. The behind-the-scenes story is oftentimes very ugly, and everybody's dealing with a struggle of some sort. So that's what we wanted to do. We just wanted to create a common denominator, a denominator that transcends, some sort of frame of reference. I didn't want it to be called a Nollywood, Bollywood, or Hollywood film. I just wanted to, create a universally viable film that anybody can take, something away from that can resonate with everybody, irrespective of your political affiliation, your race, your class, your creed. That's what this movie is about. It's a feel-good, beautiful narrative about a phenomenon called social media that everybody is a part of, and I wanted everybody to resonate with it and then have questions, offer perspective, force conversations of some sort, because it's long overdue. There's an issue, there's an advocacy behind it. It's not, chiefly for entertainment. There's an advocacy. I did a research and I found out that individuals between the ages of 15 and 19 are some of the highest suicide rates in the world, and a great number of that is attributed to the social media space. So yes, there's a tragic circumstance behind it. People are losing their lives because of the cyberbullying, because of the attacks, because it's now culturally cool to project cruelty and hatred on these platforms. So I believe this is the first conversation, especially for the people at the helm of affairs, to begin to understand the implications of this, and for people that perpetrate these crimes to begin to understand the full extent of the cost and the effect of their words. So at best, the whole idea, the whole understanding about this is to offer perspective and hopefully to force a conversation in the right direction.
Listening to you speak, I can already think of like 1,000 conversations just popping up in my head. So many questions. I'll just like to confirm, is this your debut project, like produced, directed by Jim Iyke? Would you call this your debut project?
No, I've produced a couple of films before, one in London, I did one in America. There's a movie I made, totally of international standards as well, like this. But unfortunately, I made it in collaboration with some of my American friends. Along the line, we fell out business-wise. Creatively, trust me, it's one of my best work yet. It's called Color 25. We didn't agree. We ended up in court. Somebody is playing the middleman right now, trying to bring all of us to the table to reconcile. Hopefully that will be so, and then early next year I'll bring that out. That is my debut project. But by far, this is my best project so far. I executive produced it. My good friend Moses Inwang, easily one of the best directors from our divide, directed it. And I had to pull in, very staunch talent and gifted people from different parts of the world. We probably put about 5-6 countries, shot this over the course of 2 months. And I really believe, by every intents and purposes, that this is the best creative work there is in our divide right now.
I have to give it to you and like with a deep sense of appreciation, because you could have chosen to do anything. You could have chosen to do a hilarious movie. You could have chosen to do, one of these funny, feel good, but you chose to pick a subject that is so particular to our society today. And ironically, we were just speaking about social media trolling and social media bullying. So this is definitely one movie that I feel people will watch, especially those trolls. Now, I don't think you're a troll, Jim Iyke, but let's just put ourselves, because sometimes you mentioned something earlier as opposed to how, whether or not celebrities just do things to trigger these people. Let's just try to put ourselves in the position of the trolls now. What do you think goes on in the minds of these trolls? Why do you think it's now becoming cool? Why do you think it's now becoming something people feel they need to do?
Well, I'll give you, I think what best answers this is probably an analogy that I've personally experienced, right? I had a show some time back, probably about 4 or 5 years ago, called Jim Iyke Unscripted. We basically is a traveling socialite all over the world, which was what I was playing, and we had people record all our events. I was representing Virgin Atlantic. They just shut down with operations in Nigeria and they moved to Ghana. The understanding was that we could take off from Ghana to any part of the world. There's a car that just came out then, a Camaro convertible. I got one, had it shipped down to Ghana. The day I was going for the conference, a young dude, really cool, pleasant guy, well-spoken, came over to me and said he would like a picture. I took a picture near the car. He said he would like to take a picture near the car. I obliged him. He now said he wanted to get into the car to take a picture. I said, well, I think this is really pushing it, my brother. I don't know who you are. I don't think I would do it. And he was upset. He walked away. I didn't know something really ominous was going to come from there. If I knew, maybe I would have addressed it, in a better fashion. And a couple of days later, this dude went into the internet, pulled out a car that looked like mine, except his was dark blue, mine was black. Same year, same convertible. It was an accidented car. Posted it online and said, I just had an accident and I was in life support and I wasn't going to make it. I was in some hospital dying. Around that time, a day before he posted it, I had 3 country shoot to do in 6 days. I was going to Frankfurt, Amsterdam, London, and Zurich to shoot. And then that all happened in a week. So within the week he released it, I could not be found. I could not be reached. So my mom and my sister, my mom had high blood pressure. She was still alive then and was in a hospital. My sisters were all distraught. Everybody was trying to find me and they could not. I was found 4 days later and my mom made me in my birthday suit to take a video, top to bottom, just to tell her I was fine. Because this played again to an event that happened previously in my final year in school. I had a bike accident, broke my leg. I forced all my friends not to tell my parents. My leg was hanging with POP on some hanger for about 2 months until my leg was rotting away and I couldn't afford the hospital bills anymore. So we had to bring our parents in. So my mom was like, I know you've done it again. You're probably suffering somewhere and you refuse to tell us. I cut short my trip, flew back to see her to assure her everything was fine. When that happened, I made up my mind to find this guy. So we put all our resources together, put all our contacts together, and 10 days late, 11 days, the 11th day, we found him. Yeah, we found this guy. Well, this is TV. I don't have to state what happened. But needless to say that we handed him over to the authorities when we made sure that he regretted his actions. And he served a short stint in jail for it. But we also made sure that I removed him from the whole internet space for the rest of his life. That's the whole point. So this comes naturally, personally to me as an experience. It's something I've lived, found a troll, and made out my own version of justice. It wasn't anything bad, of course. We just sat down and had a proper man-to-man conversation as to why you can't do this. There's certain people you can't do this, play this game with. They will find you. Especially if it's somebody like me, I will find you if I make up my mind to. So it's a story that entrusts me that one way or the other, it plays to a certain degree of reality as well.
If there's one thing that anyone who's watching is going to take out of this interview is do not mess with Jim Iyke. He will handle you. Jim, before I let you go, date, where we can watch it. Are you shopping for streaming services? Where we can find the movie and when it's coming out.
On the 22nd, which is this Sunday, we're having our premiere. It's going to be fun. I'm inviting everybody to come and experience something entirely new. Okay, it's that time. We're overdue for it. And then on the 27th, same month, August, 27th August, this month, we're going to be in cinemas near you. See this movie. Believe in this movie. Support this movie. It can be overemphasized on the need for our people to support our cinema. It just can't. You can't go out there and be supporting Hollywood and Bollywood. I know how many times my household alone spend watching Z Word. It gets me so mad. Okay, forgive me, but that's the truth. Or watching Hollywood films. They're amazing. But this is our story, our perspective, our version. By Africans, for Africans. What can you do? Support it. Make it as big as theirs. And that's how it is, especially when we've gone out of our ways, put all stops to make it universally, to that universal standard that we all crave for. It's an amazing film. Support it. 27th August, live. We're going.
We will. Jim Iyke, we love you on Arise 360. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard the man. Go support the movie. Go watch it. Enjoy it. Tell a friend to tell a friend about it.